welcome to another episode of Just Us Dads. This is the Dadversation. If this is your first time over here, this is the podcast that brings three dads together, and we talk about being dads, all the good stuff, the bad stuff, the adventures, the misadventures, the advantages, disadvantages, the crappy shit, and the happy stuff. You'll find it on this podcast. Thank you for following us. Head on over to YouTube and subscribe. You'll find us on all social media platforms. Like every week, George and Chris are both here. How's it going, gentlemen?
Good.
I went very quickly through that intro, and I kind of choked on my own saliva.
It was good. I'll give you a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I'll take it.
That was 9 out of 10.
How's it going?
Good.
Chris, you look good. George and I, we look fucking disheveled. Right before you logged in, Chris, we were talking with George, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude, take care of your beard." And he's like, "I'm too lazy." And I'm like, "You know what? I haven't changed clothes in a week either. We're just in this state where it's like, fuck it. I don't go out. You know what I mean? Nobody sees me. I don't care. I haven't shaved. I'm wearing a cap not because I want to or because it looks good, but it's because I haven't shaved my hair. My hair. So
I'm lucky because you see this part is so bald that I just have to wear this to hide what's going on.
Yeah, you're wearing a headset there and it covers everything. But that beard is becoming very bushy, man.
Yeah, look at that.
I love it. It's conquest.
Are you
Santa Claus has come to town, my friends?
Are you? Is it laziness, George, or is it a mix of both? What's going on over there? What's the situation?
Wait, he's mixed of what? What's of the both?
Is it because you want to?
It's definitely laziness. Maybe there's something I'm overlooking. So what's the other factor?
Okay. Well, I thought it was either you're growing a beard, which is fine. I mean, you're allowed to grow a beard, or if
my beard grows without my wanting, it just grows.
Do you also kind of like shave the contour so you can give the impression that you're growing a beard, but in reality you're just too lazy to shave the whole thing?
Yeah. So it could look like I'm actually.
Well, it looks like you're growing a beard, but you're also taking care of it.
Yeah,
it's taken care of. And like I said, it's like a little skunk design.
Right.
A little skunk design, yeah.
A little
right
skunk
before
design,
the call,
yeah.
I just clean this part here and a little bit under here. And
Yeah. I do that too. I find that it works. It confuses people into actually.
It deceives people well. It
does. It's the best. But in the back of your head, it's like, fuck, I'm a lazy motherfucker. I haven't shaved in a month, and I'm not planning on.
But everyone's like that, man. Everyone's like that. I have a shirt and I comb my hair when I give presentations because I do a lot of Zooms and a lot of online stuff.
Do you only button?
Yeah,
the 4 top buttons.
Yeah, and the rest is underwear or shorts. It's just
he doesn't even bother buttoning the whole thing. It's like whatever
just the first 2 buttons. It's the first 2 buttons.
Everything under the bottom frame of my window is just open.
You could keep picking the lint while you're talking.
No, but everyone is in the same mess. I did a presentation last week. I did a few last week, but there was one where I did the whole presentation and no one had their camera on. This is like maybe 7-8 people, right? So no one had their camera on.
Must be the weirdest thing, though.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but whatever.
You're just talking to your computer. Like you don't feel like
that's right.
Anyone is even.
I'm talking to my screen, and what I'm seeing is my PowerPoint. So I'm looking at my PowerPoint, and I'm just talking to people, and no one agrees, no one nods, no one says yeah, yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
So then at the end, I got fed up. So I'm like, guys, like, can I see some faces? It's like. And then people started slowly opening up their cameras. And I felt like telling them, guys, close them.
Turn them back.
You guys look like shit. Everyone looked like shit. Man.
And you know what probably happened? It took a couple seconds for those windows to kind of open because they had to go take care of themselves. Oh, shit, he wants to see me.
Did you have to ask anybody to go put on a bathrobe or anything?
No, but it looked like people... Look, it was obvious people didn't comb their hair. Yeah. It was obvious people didn't, but it was even obvious that people didn't brush their teeth. I couldn't smell it, but I can see it.
You could feel it.
I can feel it.
He could feel it through the screen. Yeah, that guy looks like he has tartar or whatever it's called.
No, but fuck, it looks like I dyed this. Look at the straight lines.
Yeah, it's so perfect.
What the fuck is that? This was not intentional. I tell you that. That's all
it's just the perfect mirror image there. I mean, that's you don't see that.
You know what you should do, George?
Yeah.
You know what? Just shave whatever's gray.
Leave like
whatever's white.
Whatever's white. Yeah.
So I can give the impression that I still have dark hair, right?
Yeah, and it will be like this. It'll be like
a nice big trucker mustache all the way down.
Yeah.
Try it.
You would legitimately look like a criminal, I think, with a shaved head and just one big mustache.
I don't know if I'm offended I don't know if I'm offended for big bearded guys or for criminals. Who should I be offended for?
Nobody, man. Everyone gets offended for anything. Don't get offended for anything.
I should stay out of it.
Guys, you know what happened this week? Last week.
Change your clothes. That's what happened.
Yeah, that. But in addition to that, I think it's the same ones. I'm gonna look at last episode. I think I'm wearing the exact same thing, man. No, last week, the kids were doing their school through the. It was home, right? So it was like an online school thing.
Oh, sorry, guys.
And so they went back to school this week, and I tried doing homework with my daughter. I don't know what happens to these kids, and I don't know if your kids are the same, but they could be. No, but listen to me, man. I'm trying to think if I was that way. Maybe I was, but I have a feeling that I wasn't, just because the slap was just inches away and it was almost immediate, that we didn't even risk.
You were that way once.
Yeah, that's all it took.
Clear to you that you're never gonna do that again, or else. It was very simple.
So it's like,
it wasn't complicated.
That's funny, but so true.
But look at the transition. She's on the table, and she's playing with her Barbies. And it's like the happiest kid, excited, making her little stories. And then I'm like, okay, let's go homework. Do it. It felt like she had no more bones. It was like, I don't want. And we had to do a dictate.
I get screaming.
There was no screaming, but it's like suddenly it's like she just melts off the chair. Yeah, it's like we had to do a dictate. She had to write the words twice in the book, and it took like, I don't know, 45 minutes.
Is that all?
How much time? How many more words? I'm like, what do you care? Just write them. And then she's counting. Okay, how many?
Dude,
just write them. Write them.
I'm reliving what I relived this afternoon.
It's like, sit up straight, get up. Like I felt like I was seeing like my parents or something, like telling us, or like this vision of back when we were kids. But I also feel like I wasn't that way. I don't know. It was like, sit down, do your homework, and that's it. We would sit and do it.
You know what the problem is?
I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. I
think you're in denial. How many memories do you actually have from that age? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very little.
Yeah. No, I don't know. No, I yeah.
But I tell you what the magic word is.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a trigger word. The second you say homework, it's like Pavlov's dog. But instead of the kid salivating, it starts fucking freaking out.
Yeah.
So you have to avoid the word homework. What you say is like, let's write something. Let's read something, and then you get them in, reel them in.
It doesn't work, man. It's like stuff like, it's like you're telling them fucking.
You can't say homework. The second you say, let's go do homework, you're done. You've lost. There's no way.
Anything that doesn't involve let's play together, let's draw together, anything that has to do with playtime. If it's let's practice the piano, let's do your writing, let's do the math exercises. It's like, what the hell? What did I just say? Just get off your ass and let's go.
It doesn't work numbers, but it doesn't work wonders. But the language is important. Like, instead of saying let's go practice the piano, if you say, show me the last scale you learned.
Yeah,
it can make a difference. It can make a little difference, because homework, people are allergic to homework. Parents are allergic to homework.
You're right. Language.
Like when I hear
the way teachers fool us into believing it's about 15 to 20 minutes of homework.
Oh yeah, you're out of your mind. What are you talking about? 15, 20 minutes is for her.
Language does work. That's how I was fooled into doing it. But you were saying, I'm sorry I cut you off, because.
No, it's so I forgot. But it is, language is important. Language is important because it's like, they know they don't want to do that, so you gotta get them into it without them thinking they're doing that.
Oh my god!
I'm not that good.
Wait.
I think I may have burned that bridge. I could only go the homework, or else you're dead. It's the only way it works.
He sits down next to his kids with a knife. All right, let's go. What do you have today?
I even remember that. I remember somebody using that tactic live. I've seen it. I haven't. It's not something I've heard of.
A knife?
Yep. And it's not for homework. It was for homework and for eating. So there was a knife behind your back, so you couldn't say, "I don't want any more food."
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not gonna share that information.
No,
Are you
obviously,
crazy?
I'm not asking you to say it. I'm just saying who does that kind of thing. Like I'm talking more general. So what? They would hold the knife behind the kid's back.
Oh yeah. There's some crazy tactics out there, man. There are people. You leave people up to their own free will and their own thinking, and things get fucked up fast.
Like, I mean, what's the alternative? No more front doors for people's houses, so we could all see what's going on.
I don't know, man. But no, homework is it's a tough one. Kids don't like to. Kids like doing things they like, but they don't like to be told to do homework. That's what I'm telling you. Don't frame it as homework.
But you know what the
frame
thing
it as something else.
Here's the thing. Deep down, I don't really care because it's grade 1. And but at the same time, it's like I know that this is the most crucial time because this is where you're going to learn your basics. You know what I mean? Oh, there they are. What's up, boys?
Let's tell everybody how much we love doing homework.
Yeah. Did you guys finish homework? No, this guy.
Let me kiss them good. Give me a second.
Yeah. Like I feel like I don't care so much. But at the same time, I don't want them to develop this habit of, whatever, it's just homework. Because the later years, it's going to get more important, right? Like grade 2, 3, 4, and afterwards.
Well, even one. One is important because grade 1 is important because it's a transition between the baby to the young student.
Yeah.
So the teacher has 2 jobs, basically. Half is babysitting and half is kind of teaching the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Numbers, it's your first letters, it's your first pronunciation of words. So what you want to do is you want to kind of alleviate the teacher's task and not have them to do the babysitting portion as much.
Yeah.
Right. So a kid that comes ready in grade 1, it makes the teacher's life a little bit easier. Right. A kid that enters grade 1 and all they want to do is play, or they don't have that discipline to stop. Well, it becomes harder for the teacher. And then because it becomes hard for the teacher, it's hard on everyone else.
Yeah.
So, so it is a social setting. It's that first social setting where, it's like, I know.
I understand the fundamentals and how important they are, but in terms of actual importance for the homework, you're like, whatever, it's grade 1, it's okay, whatever. She'll learn how to write. Like she'll pick it up, but I don't want to fall in that because maybe she won't.
But you're right. But you know what? The important thing is, you're right. I agree with you. I don't think it's important. Well, it is important what they're doing. I don't want to denigrate what they're doing. It's very important what they're doing. But as important is them learning that they have to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Like take the habit that I come home, I have like a window of whatever, 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
to do something.
They have to understand they have a responsibility.
Yeah.
It is the responsibility.
It's part of life now, right? Whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, like during last week when they were when they were home and it was like a home kind of schooling, whatever, online school. I noticed a couple things and it just got me to start questioning things, because I was sitting next to her because sometimes she had a hard time with a computer and all that stuff. So especially the first 2 days or something, and I noticed that after 30, 40 minutes. And not only her, like every single kid, I was looking at the computer.
The attention span.
Oh my goodness, man!
30 is a lot, man. 30 is impressive.
I'm making gross figures here, but my daughter would just look at herself on the computer, just play with her hair and just do. And I'm telling her, what the fuck are you doing? Like, listen to your teacher. Like I'm on the side now, right? Like it's me. I'm like, why aren't you listening? And then I have my wife kind of yelling from the other room, can you not bother her? Leave her, let her focus. I'm like, she's not fucking focusing. I'm telling her to focus, And then it just got me to thinking that,
oh my God, it's so funny. Your wife thought that you bothering her takes her out of focus.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm doing it because she's out of focus, and I want her to get back into focus. And then it just got me thinking.
That's funny.
Is this happening just because she's home and it's a comfortable setting, and she gets bored because she's looking at a computer? I mean, is she like that in class? Like I want to have that discussion with my wife. I'm like, maybe we should.
This is exactly the conversation I was having with my wife.
Yeah, like maybe we should talk to the teacher and see how she is in class, because I saw this now. I got a taste of it. I didn't like it, but at the same time, I don't know if she's like that all the time, or it's because she's in front of a computer, she didn't really know what to do. I mean, I'm reasonable enough to understand that at that age, she's like 7 years old. She's not going to stay focused from 8 in the morning until 3 when they feel like it doesn't happen.
No, not even an adult. Not even an adult
Exactly.
can do that.
So I'm not, you know.
No, I'll tell you what it is, man, George. Yeah. I'll tell you what it is, because my wife teaches, I teach too, and we've been through this stuff. We thought about this stuff. Your kid not being able to focus on Zoom is very normal, because usually she's in a class and she's seeing the teacher in front.
Yeah.
She's never seeing a screen of 15 kids in front of her.
Yeah.
Now she can see every little kid. Every little kid makes a face that will throw her off as well.
Right.
So she's seeing everything is in the screen, which makes it hard to focus. So don't worry. In class, it's not. It could be the same, but it's not necessarily the same.
I hope not. Fuck. Because based on what I saw, I'm like, holy shit! If she's like that in class, we have a problem. Like we have.
I don't think so. Man, they're comfortable at home. They want to be themselves. They don't want to sit there
and Zoom is not made for teaching, man. Zoom is made for a little webinar. It's made for a short meeting. I remember 2 years ago, I had a 5-hour class. I was teaching a 5-hour class, and this is to adults, well, old teenagers. And by the third hour, they either wanted to kill themselves or kill me. It was one or the other. It was like I just saw like things were like just derailing. The focus was down. I had to become a joker. I had to do different things. I had to go play, make it interactive. Like you know what I mean? You can. It can never replace the live. It will never replace the in presence, the presence feel, belly to belly, people interacting.
Yeah.
I don't
know, but yeah, the attention span. We have I think we have a problem with the old one. Her mind just drifts, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just that she's always had like this very huge imagination, and she's always created all these stories, and she's played with little, with her dolls, and she can spend hours. Like it's a good thing, because at least she's not stuck in front of the TV. She's never been that kind of kid that could spend the whole day. Like she can't. Like she needs to go and draw. Like she's gonna go grab her pencils and pay. Like she's very creative that way, right? She knows how to spend her time doing what I think are productive things, like using her imagination, playing with her dolls, and doing all these different things. I'm just not sure the effects of that in class, right? It's like, how often does she drift away? And then I saw when I told her, okay, let's do some work, let's do your homework. Guys, it's like as if I told her, let's go. I'm killing you. Like you're on death row or something. Your life is ending. Shit.
Yeah, I don't think that's that sounds like a very healthy kid, man.
Man, it's normal, man. They're so relieved that the day at school ended. They don't want to relive it again. It's a regular reaction. You don't want to know what happens in this house when the work comes.
Yeah, maybe it's also wishful thinking on my part, where I think you're gonna come home and you're gonna sit and do your homework and just be perfect.
It's also denial. You thinking that you weren't like that as a kid.
Yeah, maybe not, but maybe.
No, but there is this generation has a little bit more of a difficulty with attention span, because things have come a lot quicker. Everything is more instantaneous. Everything is instant gratification. Everything, like we used to watch TV. Meaning, I'll give an example. Let's say you watched the show Friends, and this was older in your life.
Yeah.
So we were older. You'd watch Friends. You would have to wait for the episode after a week. Right now, everything's on command. You want to change it, you change it. You want to pause it, you pause it. You want to watch it 15 times in a row, you could. So that means that it's reactionary and it's instant. So when something is not instant, it takes a lot of time. You haven't built that muscle for it.
But was it also easier to like for parents back in the day to kind of keep their kids organized, in the sense that you come home, that cartoons are only until 4, because after 4, remember, it was the daytime, the talk shows and all those stuff there. And then there's like zero interest. Then you have the news, and then only at 7:30 the funner episodes would start. Like your Full Houses and whatever. So there was this ease for parents to say, okay, look, let them come from school. They're gonna watch the cartoons for about an hour. Then there's nothing on TV anyway, so we're going to close it. So they're going to go do their homework. Then, at 6 o'clock, it was news, right? So it's like, okay, that's when we're going to eat. They're going to sit and eat. And then, we're going to get ready for bedtime. They have like maybe another hour and a half before 8:30. Like, I feel like maybe it was easier for them to kind of put us in this kind of routine. Whereas now the TV is constantly on a kid's channel, so it's always playing cartoons, or there's the laptop or whatever. There's always something there to
definitely
draw their attention away.
But every household is different, though, right? Not everyone has the same routine. Like the routine you just described, I didn't have that routine. My routine was a little bit different.
Okay.
But you're right about something being on. And the TV, when we were younger, even though there's a lot of people that would watch a lot of TV, was still an appliance. It was an on and off.
Yeah.
You know, if the TV is constantly on, no good.
No, but I just feel like there was less to watch. I mean, even if you wanted to watch a TV and you're a 10-year-old kid that comes home, like I remember, you come home, there was Dennis the Menace, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then it was done. It was whatever, I don't know, Ricky Lake.
You remember?
I don't remember who it was there. Some talk show, some boring thing that you didn't even want to watch anyway. And there was nothing else anywhere. You couldn't. You would flip the channels. You wouldn't get cartoons anywhere because we had like whatever 10 channels to begin with. So that was it. That was it. Your time, the TV time is done.
I don't know, man.
We had,
like I said,
there was a little bit more to watch after 4. Telling the truth, like we could watch a lot of TV. I remember.
I don't remember anything. I don't remember
the reruns of. You had Degrassi High and stuff around that time. I remember. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it's everything you're saying plus the extra factors that parents were a little meaner.
Like I think the challenge for us wasn't well, now obviously it's the TV. I mean, we can compare it and contrast. I mean, back in our day, it was getting us in off the street. I remember coming home, the bus would drop us off. I would run in, drop the bag, change clothes, and come back out. Because the other kids on the street had finished earlier or whatever. We knew that we were going to play some hockey. And that was the big challenge. Like we knew that at 6:30, no matter what, you had to go home to eat. Because if you didn't, you'd get the beating of your life. So you wouldn't even risk telling your dad, no, I'm not coming. I want to play more. You knew that 6:30 was the cutoff time. The problem was between 3 and 6:30 when you were supposed to be doing your homework, you're out playing. I think that's what the challenge for our parents was.
Yeah. And you know what? Let me just say a phrase that you never heard at my house. Yeah. I'm going to say a phrase that you never heard at my house.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris doesn't like the food. You want to order something for him?
It never happened.
That never came out of either my mom's or my dad's mouth.
We would order 2 things. Okay.
Souvlaki and pizza.
Exactly. Pizza and souvlaki. And it wasn't even gyro. It was a souvlaki stick. Like
you make your own salad and fries.
They're gonna get dirty. Get them the sticks. And it was such a rarity. It happened maybe 3 times a year. You know what I mean?
Or if you brought in like 90s everywhere, you know? like 3 8+s will get you maybe the souvlaki. You know?
Not even. It was so rare. It almost never happened. Like it had to be programmed. Now it's a necessity because you either come home and you didn't have time to cook, you don't have time to prepare something, it's getting late, whatever. The kids have to do their homework. You're like, screw this.
Or your kids only eat 3 varieties of food.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, or chicken burgers. Yeah, that's what the kids eat. You know?
So now it's just the practical aspect of it. It's like, I didn't have time. We're going to order. It's all going to be taken care of. It's one less headache. That never happened. It would never occur. There was never a moment where there was food not being cooked in the house. It never happened.
I think George hit it on the nail when he said parents were stricter. They imposed discipline more. Today,
they weren't only stricter, they were meaner.
And they imposed
like
discipline.
George would have gotten the beating from his dad in front of his friends on the street.
No problem.
Stick more. To make it stick more, to make sure he regrets it forever.
That was the example. It's like what happens to him. You know?
I'm gonna beat him once, and I won't have to beat him again if I do it in front of all his friends once.
That's right. And then if the others see, they'll think and not do the same thing.
It's crazy.
And they'll remind him that he should go in right away.
It's crazy. You know what's crazy, and this maybe is a generalization because I'm going to go off a limb over here because I don't want to assume that every household now is this way. But I feel like we are much more educated. We have more responsibilities. Our jobs are more demanding. Yet I feel like we're less organized than our parents were. It feels like they had probably less to worry about in terms of workload and all that stuff, but their days, it was clockwork, man. They were up every single day at 5:30. Someone, like one of the two parents, was up. They had to make the breakfast, prepare the, like, it was on a daily basis. Now it's like,
aren't you guys like that?
Sorry? Now,
are you guys like that?
Some days yes, some days no. Some days
well,
Chris, I'm sure you guys are.
Parenthood then was way less flexible, meaning you trusted the fundamentals and that was it. You didn't question them. You know, the fundamentals was, it's what the parents know better. I'm not saying it was a better system. I'm just saying that's what it was then. So parenthood, not very flexible, fundamentals not to be broken, rules not to be violated. And the kid or the kids had very little to say. You know what? Like, parents back then never asked for your opinion. It's like your opinion mattered later when you grew older.
When it's the weekend.
maybe.
Monday to Friday. This is your schedule. You're waking up at 6:30. You're brushing your teeth. You're changing. You're coming. You're having breakfast. Your bus is passing. Yeah,
the bus is 0 to 18 years old. It didn't matter your opinion. Yeah, from 0 to 18 years old.
You got to be outside waiting for the bus a good 20 minutes before the bus actually comes. You know what I mean?
And now I don't know what the percentage is, but there's a big percentage of parents that believe that disciplining your kid is fascism. You know, it's something not to do. It's not a form of love, or it's not a form of caring. And if you think disciplining is not a form of caring, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And then if you don't do it, then your kid will be in trouble later.
Which is what worries me. Which is what worries me a lot. I mean, look, I don't have kids that don't listen. I mean, they're not all over the place. Like, I mean, they're very what's the word I'm looking for? They're very like obedient. You know what I mean? Like they're good kids. It's just on a couple of things you want to bang your head on the fucking wall. It's like, oh my God, like what's the problem here? You know what I mean? Maybe it's normal. I mean, they're kids at the end of the day, man. Like, I mean, what can you expect? You know, I just feel things are so different. Like the way
they're different, and
like the way
the thing is, we have to convince them to do things that we didn't have to be convinced. We just have to be asked. And this is the part that's trivial. We can't solve that. Our parents solved it with threats. It was basic. It was an or else.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's touch upon some concepts. You said obedience, right? You want obedience, but you don't want your kid necessarily to be obedient to anybody either. You want respect. You don't want your kid to be insubordinate, right? But you want the respect, and you want it to understand that there's some kind of hierarchy, whether it's parent, teacher, it's a different relationship. And when you flatten that,
I feel like
that's right. When you flatten that, the kid never learns how to go and grow in the hierarchy. And then when somebody tells them to do something, there's no respect, there's disobedience. I don't care, and I don't even care to care. It's not that I don't care. It's I don't care to care. It's like it doesn't affect me. I don't like if you asked me to do something, I didn't do it, I don't care that I made you feel bad, because it's not. I've never learned that.
Right.
You know, and that's what we're struggling with right now. And it's like you said, George, we're a very educated generation, but we're also a very maybe not educated generation, because we messed up the fundamentals that have been working for thousands of years.
It's true.
Like thousands of years of upbringing has some wisdom rooted in it. Thousands of years of people doing something that works means it's embedded in there. And then we come along with our education and we killed it.
But also we don't have enough data to tell us or to inform us if this way of doing, you know, what we're doing is actually more beneficial. We don't know. I mean, we're going to know in 20 years, 30 years.
It's not. It's not. You see it in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 that it's not beneficial. You see it. People struggle with everything. And you see it. The 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds struggle at work. There's a little bit of a bump and they quit. Right. There's a little bit of a bump and they want to change. They don't make an impact and they're depressed. There's anxiety. So yeah, we do have data.
Oh my God, guys! Speaking of work, because we just went through like some, I don't want to say tumultuous. I mean, it was manageable, but it was just one week after the other where we had employees leaving and we had to hire new ones to replace them, and the ones that we hired to replace them ended up leaving. And but there was one instance where, you know, you hire someone and you're impressed by everything that you're seeing and you're like, okay, let's go, let's get started. and then they do 2 shifts and they quit. And you're thinking, what the fuck happened? And I
wait, let me tell you before you think out loud.
yeah.
You were very impressed with what you saw, but they weren't. They weren't impressed with what they saw, George.
I was gonna say, when such turnaround, it's got to be you, George.
No, it's not. It's just that look, and I don't care because it's not because the industry that we're in, we don't have full time.
Maybe
they don't come work 8 to 5. You know what I mean? It's
maybe
extra
seeing you
hours.
wearing those clothes all the time. They're like, fuck, this guy, I'm not gonna have money to pay me if I stay here.
This guy's dirty here.
They're not gonna be paying me. They got afford to replace the clothes.
The point I'm trying to make is that I remember when I was younger and I was starting in the workforce, there was no such thing as I don't like it. Like the job, like my first job, I kept it for like months, and whether I liked it or hated it, that's what it was.
You love the money.
like I actually felt bad.
You love the money, George.
Eh?
You love the money that you got that you weren't getting from anywhere else, where they have other avenues for money.
Yeah, but it's not like we were treated. It's not like we were treated the way employees are treated today. I mean,
No, but
in general, we all
what was
started.
your other option to go get that money that they were giving you?
No, but I could. It could have been anywhere. It's just that now the slightest thing that they don't like is like, okay, bye, and they don't care that they're screwing you over. Like one of these employees, I kind of had a feeling that it's not going to be good. It's not going to go well, and we're like, let's give her the benefit of the doubt, whatever. So she was supposed to work Friday night, Saturday night. She didn't do it. She's like, I'm going to do it on Sunday. As soon as I saw, I'm going to do it on Sunday, even though we tell them, look, don't do it on Sunday because Sunday, we have our teams that are out to supervise. So I don't want to screw over that schedule. So it kind of helps us. But look, I mean, if it happens, it happens. So the minute I got that, and it's a text message, right? Because people don't talk anymore. It's like, as soon as I got the message, I'll do it on Sunday. I go to my wife, get ready. We're going to have to go work on Sunday. Like, it's not happening. Like, I automatically knew that she was going to abandon us. And that's exactly what happened. And I felt like, who the fuck does it? When you gave your word that you're going to do it on Sunday, how on the same day do you tell them, you know what, I quit? Like, how do you leave someone hanging?
I have an answer.
Like zero responsibility, zero sense of responsibility.
I have an answer, man. The responsibility, and I'm not going to call it a dichotomy, but the relationship between employee and employer has radically changed.
Right.
Okay. People see businessmen, entrepreneurs, bosses, employers as the oppressors and employees as the oppressed. So it's almost trying to break that chain. So it doesn't matter. It's like, you're going to find somebody. It's up to you. Do whatever you can.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of, like, if you follow,
it's so difficult for me, Chris. It's so difficult for me to comprehend that. Like, I felt bad.
No, it's easy. It's easy to comprehend.
Like when I was working,
it's hard to accept. But like when I was working, why people think like that,
guys. When I was working, I legitimately felt bad calling in sick because I'm like, who's gonna do my job now? Like, who's gonna do it? And we're talking about back in the days when I was working, customer service in a call center with 300 other people that did exactly what I did, and I felt bad calling in sick because there won't be 300 people on the floor. There'll be 299. Oh my God. Like when I think back now.
For a big company like that, forget it. But for that one boss you had, you know what the difference was? Your mindset was like, I'm grateful. I'm happy I have a job and he's paying me to do a service.
Right.
You didn't think he's exploiting me.
Like,
Fuck,
I felt
this guy,
bad.
he's exploiting me.
I even felt bad asking for a day off, man. Like,
there you go.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, this is my job. I work. It's in my schedule. Like, this is what I got to do now. Like, I never vacation.
The day when the narrative is like tax all the rich and tax them 90% and take all the money from the billionaires and fuck the millionaires. When you hear shit like that, that's going to skew your mindset.
Yeah,
you're going to think all people. Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. But everything is changing. Everything is different. And doesn't mean it's going for the worse. But certain fundamentals that we're messing with are not producing good results.
I'm very eager to see how my kids are going to be in the workforce.
You can't predict that.
Like, no, but you can start. Well, maybe it's too soon now, but at some point, don't you need to start instilling certain elements that would ensure these kids that they're going to remain disciplined or loyal to their boss or just do the work, even if it sucks. I mean, just go through it, man. Yeah, it sucks, but that's what it is. You gotta.
You mean the fundamental values?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You see, but you know what the difference is? I'll give you an example.
Like, hold on, I'm going to interrupt you. To give an example to illustrate it, I remember very specifically working in the restaurant. When was it? High school or college? CJP, I can't remember. Whatever. And I would come home like on the weekend, and I'd be finished, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, I can't do this." And my father's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Who cares?"
Yeah. Don't complain.
Don't complain. Exactly. Yeah. It was like you have no other option. Like that's your job. Shut the fuck up and go to work.
Yeah.
I remember. Last example. I remember once we went out on Saturday. We got trashed. Like, and Sunday morning I was doing breakfast at the restaurant, and I woke up complete hangover. I couldn't work, guys. I couldn't work. I actually got up, went to work 5:30 in the morning. Around 6:30. It wasn't even 7 yet. I told my boss, I'm like, dude, I can't. I'm throwing up. I don't feel good. And I called my dad to come pick me up. Do you know how bad I felt when my dad walked in?
What, he came to pick you up?
I'm like, yeah, but I don't feel good. First of all, it took so much to convince him.
You're lucky. You're lucky, buddy.
You're a 10-minute bus ride from home.
I couldn't, dude. I was puking everywhere, man. I was. It was the worst hangover ever. So the guy comes in. You know how bad I felt that I was leaving, like not even in the middle of my shift. It was like the shift that barely started. You know what I mean? I felt bad because I felt like my father would be feeling bad that he came to pick me up. I'm like, oh my god, this is embarrassing.
You were embarrassed.
I was embarrassed for my dad. Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, this poor guy now. What are they gonna think? That he's coming to pick up his loser son? You know what I mean?
No, it's like the loser dad is coming to pick up his loser kid. What the hell? What's wrong with these guys? Yeah,
teach him to work.
My goodness.
Different times, man.
Yeah,
different times.
Like we would take shit, and it's like,
no,
that's it. Live with it.
It's very hard to predict in like the 20 years, especially when they're saying that in about 20, 30 years, 80% of the jobs are going to be different or unknown. Right. Meaning you don't know what 80%, you don't know what the market is going to create in 20 years from now.
Yeah.
As a job, or is it going to be a job, or is it going to be a different system? Is it going to be a different universal system where you do different things and there's no workforce? Everyone's kind of an entrepreneur. We kind of go back to maybe a barter system. Is it going to be cryptocurrency? Is it going to be a cashless society? All this stuff is in play, right?
Yeah.
What I was going to say is that you're right about the fundamentals. And I believe in fundamentals. I believe fundamentals don't change. Just like if you go and you read mythology and you break down the characters.
Oh, the lessons are still, the lessons are still present today.
Exactly. It still applies today. So that doesn't change for me. Even though brains are malleable, the mind is programmable, you don't change basic innate things that come. Where do they come from? I don't know. Whether it's biology, evolutionary biology, is it God? Is it something? It comes. So basically, you have your great grandfather's memory somewhere on you. You have his nose. You have his eyes. Yeah. That code is in you somewhere. Right. So the body has way more memory than the brain. Okay? So the fundamentals don't change. But it's also what fundamentals you adopt. So I'll give an example. I say certain things and people think I'm crazy, and I understand why people wouldn't do it. But I believe that my son should go work for somebody and not get paid. If he ever told me that, I would agree. I would push him. Right. Like find a mentor, somebody that can push you, and you don't need to get paid. Watch, observe, see if they're willing to help you, and go work for free and learn.
Okay, yeah, but see, this is very specific. Not you don't want him to just go do anything for free.
No.
There has to be. There's an ulterior motive where he gets to learn something from someone that is going to either open doors for him to succeed in a specific thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now the opposing mentality might be like, don't do that. Don't ever do that, because don't let anybody take advantage of you. Whether you work 15 minutes or a whatever, even if they owe you $1, they owe you $1. So it's all about. I'm not saying one is correct and one is not correct.
Yeah.
But it's like what fundamental lens you adopt and what mindset you have, right? So it's different from household to household, but I find the main values, the commitment, perseverance, the resilience, that stuff is not, they're not magic words anymore. Even though everybody posts the quotes and everyone has a quote, no one lives the quotes.
Yeah.
They just want to post a quote and say, look, I thought of this quote, or I read the quote and I liked it for 6 seconds.
Yeah,
Then everyone forgets about the code. When it's time to apply the code, no one wants to do it.
Nobody lives by it.
Yeah, exactly. But people want to talk about it. You know, it's just, and that's with everything. Today, that's what it is. More people want to talk about problems as if they're concerned about them, but they'd rather be concerned than solve it. When it's time to go, okay, you go fix it, George. It's like, no. I just want to be concerned about it. I just told you I'm concerned and I'm aware about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go fix it. Somebody else is going to do it, right?
It's something it's something that I think a lot about, though. You know, like just basic curiosity. Like, what interests are my kids going to have? Like, what are they going to do? You know what I mean? Like, what is my daughter going to come to me with when she's like 16 or 18 or whatever? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but then you can mold. We can mold our kids, man.
Like, how do I react? How do I react if my daughter comes? She's like, hey, my friend Cindy and I went to apply at the bar. We're gonna start working like weekends. Like, I feel like I'm gonna throw something at her. It's like, well, you're not gonna go.
Wait, you think bars are gonna exist in 20 years?
I don't know. Whatever. I'm just giving you an example. You know. I don't know.
The bar's going to exist in the metaverse. It's not going to be an actual physical place.
And they're going to be drinking at home by themselves.
I can't believe they actually built this thing.
It's nuts.
I still don't even understand it. I mean, I get the principle of it. Like, I understand, quote unquote, understand. But there's so much more coming that we're not even aware. Like,
well, they're gonna teach us, man. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We taught our parents and so on. The other day, he's 6 years old. He's like, how did life begin? Like,
oh, my daughter asked me that too.
Yeah.
How did life begin? I'm like, how do you explain the spark of life? You know.
You say I don't know. And you're gonna write the people that pretend.
All I said is
the
furthest back they could trace it is to something starting in the water. Things are floating in the water that developed.
Mine is different. She asks questions like she's gonna find one like whatever element.
This is exactly that. How did life begin?
Yeah,
that's the words you used.
Yeah, me too.
I was blown away.
Yeah, and it's like, and then it gets like she's gonna see one thing and ask, like, where is the first horse? Like how did the first horse happen? You know, and then she's gonna see a bird. Like, how did the first bird? How was it created? Where did the first bird come from?
George, when you said the first horse, you know what I heard?
Yeah.
Like, where's the first whore? Like, I thought you said whore.
That's when George turns to the Bible.
Yeah. My daughter asking me, so tell me about the very first prostitutes, Dad.
Well, it's the oldest profession, right? The oldest profession known to men.
That's why we don't say prostitute, we say entrepreneur.
But yeah, you know, your question that you pose to yourself, where when my daughter gets older and she has to come to me and she's going to tell me, look, I've got a job I'm getting a job at the bar, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's not going to be like that. I think what's scarier, it's going to be something like she's going to tell you what she wants to do and you won't understand
it. Yeah, that is.
It won't be something like, it won't be something like, you know what, I want to do that. And you'll know exactly what it is. And you're going to be like, yes or no. She's going to come up with something and you're like, what? And please explain it to me, and they'll explain it to us, and we'll still get it.
You won't get it.
What are you talking about? What is that? And then you just have to accept it. It's
sort of like when people talk to me about cryptocurrency. What?
Yeah. What? How's it work?
I can't connect it.
Yeah, and you know what? Picture that was the same kind of feeling somebody had 25 years ago when they were asked, "What do you do?" and they replied, "I'm in IT."
Yeah. I'm a computer analyst. I'm a computer programmer.
I'm in IT.
I am in information technology.
Yeah. So like that guy, no matter how hard he tried to imagine what IT does, he couldn't figure it out. With all his brain power, he couldn't sit there and have enough imagination to come up with that specific thing IT guys do. So that's where we're going to be in 25 years.
Yeah, you have to break it down. That's with computers. I work with computers.
That's it.
That's all they needed to hear. Oh, okay. Yeah. My son.
And that's why, like, my generation, my parents, like, I'm generalizing, but there was like 5 professions that they knew about.
Yeah.
There was like 5-6 professions, bro. Once you started getting into marketing and branches of marketing.
There was 5 or 6 that they would be proud of. 5 or 6 that they would be proud of.
Yeah. Because everything... Yeah, you had
But
the bad
really,
jobs.
but really, it was 3.
No.
They knew the 5, but in their in their heart, they really hoped for the 3. You know what I mean? Doctor, lawyer, and accountant. Because I don't know how the accountant be the accountant.
You know what it was?
I don't know how the accountants score so high. No offense to all the accountants out there, but
they had all the bad jobs. They knew exactly what all the bad jobs were. So it's like, you can't do any of these bad jobs.
Yeah.
Then you had the 4 or 5 good jobs that you'd make everybody proud. And then there was like 90% of unknown. There was just unknown. There was so many jobs that were just unknown. They wouldn't even sit down for the explanation. They wouldn't have the patience to hear what it's about. They never cared about that. And that could be like 90% of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine you came to your dad 20 years ago, and you're like, I'm going to become an actuary.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, an actuary. Explain to him what an actuary does. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what? I'm in engineering, and my dad still doesn't know what I really do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
even if I explain it, he kind of gets it, but it's like, okay.
He thinks you're an architect. He designs buildings. He draws buildings.
He tells them where to put the posts.
Yeah, or like every doctor is a doctor, right? Like, guys, you know how many facets of doctors exist within doctors, within the research? Some are physicians, some are not, some are just philosophical doctorates. It's you can't even get into that stuff. That's why it's too complex. It's too complex to care about everything.
They're so funny. My God.
So yeah, man, that's why you become an accountant and you're done. We know what you're doing, man. We know how to advertise you. We know how to advertise you to the rest of the world, you know?
I know how to recommend you.
There was also the secondary. There was also the secondary class that made a lot of money, but it wasn't as prestigious. Like being a plumber.
Plumber, yeah.
Plumber.
Yeah. But that was for them. It was simple. It was like, okay, if you got 90s and up, go in the sciences, go in the STEM fields, right? Like if you're in the 80s, like, okay, you could kind of pick, but can't recommend. If you're in the 70s, 60s, go become a tech.
You know what I always found?
That's the avenue. You know, that's the avenue.
You know what I always found like mysterious, and especially now as we grow older, you think back to those conversations you had with your dad, and you're like, but why would he say that? You know what I mean? It's like, I remember I was young, and he brought a company to fix the roof. And, Parkex roofs, I mean, they come with a truck, and they have the whatever you call it. The tar and everything. And it stank. And, the guys were dirty. But I look at it now as a 41-year-old, and I'm like, that guy had a fucking good business. You know what I mean? There's one company that knew, like, all the Parkexters, you would call this guy for, like, he probably made good money. But I remember they would come. So my father, obviously, the guys, they're Greek or whatever, or maybe if he doesn't know them, but they're Greek, they spark a conversation. And then at some point, in front of the guys that are doing the work, he turns to you and he's like, you see, go to school, or else look, you see how hard they're working. Look at that. It's like, I don't know if it's an insult to the guy with the job that he's doing, or if it's like some form of lesson that he's trying to give you that, look, you either go to school or you end up like this guy. And
I don't think he was talking to you about the business owner that was making good money. He was talking to you about those employees that he was treating like dog shit.
Bro.
Yeah, it was mostly that.
But there were so many instances like that. Like it would happen. It would happen with a plumber. It would happen with all these, professions.
In general, that's bad advice, man. And Greece went through a hard time with that, because everyone in Greece would tell their kids to go become educated.
Yeah.
And then because everyone was educated and everybody went to university, there was very little people to do the technical stuff, and the clerical stuff. Yeah. And then there's a big shortage in Greece right now.
The manual
labor. Yeah. So you cannot have everyone.
Yeah, that's why they were hiring all the Albanians.
You don't need everyone to go to university. Yeah. And the problem is, we make university sound like this big, like, elitist club, and this big education. Education is the most important thing, and there's other things that are as important. Right. And then there's like, people realize that, man, you can become a tech and make way more money and have a better living and work less than being a highly educated person.
Yeah.
So we're starting to understand the bad advice that we were gotten sometimes, because the way they were coming from a good place, but it was to kind of get us to get a result that they wish they had and they didn't. So they feel like they missed that result. It's like, oh, you know what? I lost that opportunity. Let me give you that opportunity. But they weren't clear about what that opportunity is. You have a lot of people stuck in jobs they hate just because they wanted to get educated.
Or because they wanted to please their parents. And in reality,
that's right. So it's like, and Greece has a problem now. You have people that have 2 PhDs are delivering pizza. You know? And then there's a shortage of plumbers. Like you call it, there's no plumbers. And that's because the narrative or the mindset, the paradigm was go to school and get educated.
Yeah, don't do the dirty work.
But someone has to do that.
Yeah.
And it's not always dirty work. And with technology and machinery, it's not going to be that dirty anymore.
And it doesn't pay so bad.
And it doesn't pay exactly. Dude, plumbers, electricians today are making a killing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, there's plumbers that are making more money than dentists. No, I'm very serious.
Yeah.
You know,
like that field is one field. If you wanted to work 24 hours a day, you can.
Yeah, you can do a 24-hour service.
24 hours a day, every day. Every day.
Air conditioning, heating. Yeah.
Those guys are highly in demand. I remember my AC unit broke not last year, the year before. It was the end of July. Forget it.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm coming in September. It was the worst summer ever. We died of heat. Yeah, man. What's gonna happen? Like you call 5-6 different companies, they're all telling you the same thing.
You didn't check into a hotel.
yeah, we're moving out. Let's go. Yeah, no,
man, I can't remember life without AC, man. Like
I remember.
How did we do it? I remember when we were kids sleeping on the balcony.
We had those rusted fans in each room. Cling, 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 cling. It would click every time it would turn. Cling, 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 cling. It was so
over time that fan produced more heat.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't care.
For sure, it's a motor.
You would get wind in your face. That's what it was. It was refreshing.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, but you're right. How the hell did we do it? I mean,
we did it because we had no choice, man. Bro, think about it. That's since we're on the topic, most of our problems are coming from things that because they're so good and we're in such abundance and because we're advancing at such a rate where life's becoming easier, we're getting anxious with stupid stuff. Imagine if your life was every day you needed to get up and go walk 2 miles or whatever, 5 kilometers to go get water. Bro, there's very little time to be anxious and be depressed if you needed to do that twice a day
just for water.
Kids.
Just for water.
So we don't have all these issues, and that's why we're freaking out over nothing. We're freaking out over nothing, you know?
Yeah. Look, it's the over dependence too, right? I mean, look the example.
Our life is so luxurious and easy that we're a generation of people our age that have 15 hours a week to give to gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at our struggles.
I know full-time dads and jobs and the whole shebang, and they could play 2-3 hours a day gaming.
Yeah.
Gaming.
And to put things in perspective, just look, think of our issues like in an advanced world, right? Western world, let's say the industrialized world, the civilized world versus, let's say, a third world country or something in abject poverty. Look at the problems we're dealing and they're dealing with. Look how different they are.
Oh my God, guaranteed.
No, but look how different the problems are at the source, at the base.
Yeah.
One guy shows you.
Yeah, one family hasn't eaten in a week, and you're complaining because your AC unit broke.
You know, so one guy is
complaining because we ran out of your favorite chips.
Yeah, no, but one guy is craving and will give his life to have a piece of meat this big just to have it in his mouth. While the other guy is trying to get everyone to never eat meat again and makes them feel like idiots for eating meat.
Yeah.
You know, let's say everybody in the Western world decides not to eat meat. You think the people that never had the meat are going to give that up? You think they're going to go straight to abject poverty to like, I'm a vegan? They need to go through the process too. They need to grow to the point where they're eating and they have abundance as well. So look how limited we are in our thinking, how we're in our little bubble. We're trying to solve a problem for 300 million people when there's billions that can't eat yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just put things in perspective. That's how we have all these problems, man, because we're not dealing with real problems. And we get anxious and we get depressed for not changing the world or impacting the world.
You know when I got that kind of reality check when my family came. I think it was during the summer. I can't remember. Anyways, they came from Cyprus. They stayed for a good month or around 4 or 5
that's long. That's good.
Yeah, they came for a while. Yeah,
your house.
Yeah, well, it was so they stayed a bit in my house, my aunt, they went around, whatever. But it was nice. They stayed for a while. I think it was about a month. Anyway, and over there, summertime. I mean, there's no water. Like the entire island dries up. Like they have reservoirs on top of their house to collect the water, and then they use that afterwards. And they freaked out the first time they came here to take a shower, and I had never seen this. I had never experienced something like that in my whole life. Like my cousins went in, take a shower. 3 minutes later, they were out. I'm like, "What are you doing? You're done?"
Oh man.
She goes, yeah. I mean, I don't want to waste your water. I'm like, "What do you mean waste my water?" I'm like, I don't get it. What do you mean?
Like, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? Waste water? What do you mean? It's like, you can take a shower, like stay all you want, and even if you take all the hot water, 30 minutes later we'll have new hot water. It's not a problem. You know what I mean?
You should have told her people here like wash their cars with hot water.
It was a reality check for me, man. And I was like, what? What the hell is going on here? What do you mean a 3-minute shower? Who does that? What do you mean waste water? So careful. Like, I mean, for them, it's such a precious commodity. You know what I mean? It's like we have water.
Because we don't realize how little we pay for electricity here.
Jesus.
Very spoiled. Very spoiled.
Yeah.
Spoiled with everything, man. Anyway.
All right, guys, let's end that one over there. We went down this huge philosophical rabbit hole, but
no, we didn't. No, it is reality, man.
This is
reality.
It is reality. We have no clue what the hell our kids are going to be doing in 10, 20 years from now. It's a little scary.
They have no clue.
But you also don't have a clue, Chris. It's like they don't. But
zero.
And the fact that you don't know,
that's why we have to rely on the fundamentals.
Yeah, but the fact that you don't know is also scary because, going back to what you're saying about our parents, knowing that, look, there's 4 professions that I know that are good, and I will force my kids to become one of those 4.
Yeah, but although that message was wrong, the fundamentals that we were taught, somehow we learned to survive.
Yeah.
Now I wish I had 4 things to offer.
No, you don't want that's what I was going to say. The worst advice as parents we give to our kids and tell them what profession. They shouldn't pick a profession. Yeah. They should pick a lifestyle that suits them, their passions, their strengths, and then they'll figure out something to do. But you don't want to do that because that's limiting.
Yeah.
It's limiting if you're like, okay, I'm going to become an accountant. Imagine at 17 years old, I'm going to become an accountant. You know what that means? That means you've decided something, you've accepted the lifestyle of that something, and you've eliminated every other possibility.
Yeah.
And we can't do that. And that's why it starts from school. When they ask them, what do you want to be when you're older? It's the wrong question. Yeah. It's the wrong question. It's who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What kind of people do you want to be involved with? What kind of problems do you want to solve?
What's the number one answer to that question right now?
YouTube.
What? A YouTuber. Influencer. Yeah. Oof. That's an episode we should do. Let's talk about influencers and if they're really influencing and if they are.
Nice. I watched a documentary on that.
It's scary. It's scary, George. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
another episode. Let's do that one.
We'll save that. We'll save that one for a later episode, guys. All right, let's end it over here, guys, for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, reminding you that you can follow all the episodes on YouTube and Facebook, and you can find us on all social media platforms, as well as all the audio platforms where you normally get your podcast from. George, Chris, thank you so much for coming. And we will see you guys all in the next episode. Take care.